From the city to the county, you lop, you losing they sleep. All because of what drugs is done to my peeps, gentrification. Damn, I know it's kinda sad, but this is what it's like when no history is passed down. What's going on? This your homie ContactTheCeo of the record label Money Up Records. I'm up at it again, early in the morning doing what I do, pushing the music, still trying to get my company back on a decent level, you know, get back on my feet, get my own place of residency, going through it. They won't put me in the stores, you know, don't have my place of residency no more. Been off my meds for a minute, but you know, for some reason, I personally feel like I healed, and I'm not going through the same situations I was going through back in the county right now. You know, so I'm not in the city no more. I guess my vacation close to being over. Just trying to get everything back on a decent level. So much work I've been doing, even while on vacation, trying to get back in a decent position. You know, going back to some places I done been once before, trying to get everything going. You know, it is what it is. It's like close to 6 in the morning. I'm getting started out here, running promotion for the streaming service and trying to hit people to what it is. You know, I like to speak on a lot of allegations pertaining to who I am and what I got going on and what I've been experiencing. And it's funny because regardless of what I do, people don't see it for what it is. People always feel whatever you're doing, it got to be something wrong. And a lot of people have been trying to find not just flaws, but it's been a lot of lies and deceit that been getting tossed around my name. You know, they claim they done killed me 1 billion times. They claim that I'm the devil. Some people claim that I'm a walking God. Some people say I'm Jesus. You know, everybody's saying something different about who I am and what I do. I can buy some food at a restaurant and all of a sudden now I'm a dope fiend. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what I do, people find that flaws, not just flaws, they find that an issue with everything I do. You know, I'm starting to just understand that I just got to stay focused, do what I feel God personally put me on this earth to do, and continue to move forward. You know, things have been what they've been. You know, I've been staying in different shelters, bouncing from place to place, hotels, different places. The medical team that I had once upon a time, you know, people not doing what they supposed to be doing. My doctor called himself increasing my meds to, instead of coming once a month for my meds, he called himself increasing. And then I had a couple of situations where the medicine didn't work after he called himself increasing. And what I come to find out, which wasn't a bad thing, you know, it opened my eyes to realize that maybe I don't need the meds, because I come to find out that, you know, with the incident, even after the incident, they try to give me more meds in the place that I was residing. And, you know, if I would have took the additional meds, I would have OD'd. So, you know, I'm coming to find out that sometimes your own information is the best information to move off of. Don't nobody know your situation better than you do. Don't nobody know your body better than you do. And something else I've been learning is a lot of people like to point the finger at other people for the issues that they're experiencing in life. And sometimes that's not the best move. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time we may misconstrue a situation, and a lot of time it's a lot of people out here that consider themselves victims. You see what I'm saying? Consider themselves victims to other people attacking. And sometimes that may not be in some people's mind. I done had situations where I speak to a person and they get offended, and I may be in the area 3 or 4 more days in a row, and I go from not speaking to speaking, then they feeling assaulted, and then I stop speaking, and then all of a sudden they still feeling assaulted. So some people, you know, dealing with what they dealing with, and I think the key that has a lot of people on the different pages to communication. So, you know, sometimes things can be properly communicated, and sometimes other people may not see it the same way you see it and say the communication may be different. But regardless of whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, try to stay on your path, be comfortable with being you, and continue to do whatever you're doing that helps you grow and become a better person. You know, we can change this thing we call life. It can be blissful. It actually can be a wonderful experience. You know, just try not afflicting others. And some people don't understand that. Some people feel like, since I'm having a bad day, the world gonna have a bad day. You know what I'm saying? Since I'm dealing with this, I'm gonna point the finger at somebody else. And some people don't look at it like this, but I look at it like this. When you dealing with a situation, the key to getting over that situation that you're dealing with is self-realization, accountability. Once you attempt or willing to accept the accountability for whatever situation that you're dealing with, that's what we call a death. That's the only death I really justify. You know, looking at what's really going on with your situation, you know, accepting what's going on with your situation, and from that death becomes a rebirth. You know, after you figure out what the issue is, figure out how to fix it. And that's what we call a rebirth. You know, this is the only death that people should be speaking out here. You know, everybody else, like I say, they like to talk a certain way, and, you know, I'm blaming it on the programs and the way that they program us. They got us saying the things that we say and doing the things that we do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, some people like the system like this. That's cool. I try not to operate in this manner. You know, whether I make it to a better place or not, or whether, you know, heaven to hell, I personally feel is in the mind. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You know, but there have been times that I've mentally been in hell, and there have been times that I've mentally been in heaven. You know, I try to appreciate, regardless of whatever my situation is, I try to find the lighter side of every situation. And some people say that's being demonic. Some people say that's being a devil. You know what I'm saying? And I don't consider it that. You know, I feel like, you know, I mean, I'm not saying do what thou will, because sometimes you can infringe on other people's life or way of thinking or comfortability doing what thou will. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying do what thou will. I'm saying, you know, it should be a simple, easy way for you to go about living your life without lying on others, stealing from others, taking from others, or making other people uncomfortable. And sometimes you can't control what's comfortability to somebody, because some people are disrupted not only mentally, but some people are disruptive physically. You know, some people feel pleasure in inflicting pain on others, while some people, like myself, I have compassion. I don't like to see other people suffer. You know, I don't like to inflict pain. But sometimes just my presence make people pissed off, and I can't control that. I can't control that. I blame it on the programming. You know, what you put in is what you're going to get out. So you put in a lot of bullshit, you're going to get a lot of bullshit in your life, one way or another. And that's not how I'm operating. I'm not trying to put out no negativity. All my art that I created, poetry or regardless of whatever I call myself creating, it was clearly from the heart. And I'm giving lessons that I learned that help me elevate and see things in a different light. Some people find it to be crack. Some people find it to be drugs. And I don't find it to be drugs. I find it to be a life lesson that I learned. And this media is how I display my lessons learned, and in hopes of helping somebody else get through the struggles that I've been through. So like I say, I like to thank y'all for y'all time. This your CEO, Contact, CEO of the record label Money Up Records. At it again, another day, still at it, still trying to push forward, still trying to get this art out there, still growing and living and learning lessons and touching hearts and doing what I do, you know. I like to thank y'all for y'all time today. Today is what, Thursday the 20th. the 20th. So, you know, time flying. It's November the 20th, and I'm loving it. You know, thank God. I thank God for another day, and I'm back up at it again. And you know, just learning and growing. You know what I'm saying? So I wish y'all the best. Make sure y'all go check out Money on Records Radio. It's your CEO Contact. Keep God first. Everything else will fall into place. One love. But like I always say, Money on Records, it's a thought process. Make sure y'all get on that. Wish y'all the best. Peace.